All right. Welcome, everybody, to our Wow Wednesday testimonial call. I am Tammy Ward, if you don't know who I am, and I have Dr. Sheila, who is my co host. And we have started this call about a year ago, and this is our second year. And we're so excited to have this call because on this call, you're going to learn about all of our different technologies that we have in Solex, besides just the AO scanner, because we have more things to offer too. We have red light therapy, we have Pimp Mat, we've got a terahertz one, we have lots of beautiful supplements, and I mean the list goes on, and we just keep growing. So, and that's our company is just really hitting momentum this year. I feel it, I sense it. I think that we're just going to explode, and our numbers and things are just going to triple, if not quadruple. So, without further ado, I'll let Sheila Day come on in and say what she'd like to say.
I just want to say welcome, everyone. This call is not possible without you. So thank you for taking time to come join us tonight. Please share anything that you can about anything that you've used from the scanner, from any of the products or the other technologies. We want to hear from you because we learn something every single week from you. So just unmute yourself and let us know if you've got something to share.
Absolutely. And I also want to say to the ones that are here that are new to us, we welcome you. We're so glad you're here. If you've been invited by somebody, please follow back up with them after the call, if not tomorrow. But please follow up with them because you were invited. They care enough about you to invite you to this call. This call is an incredible call. If you have any questions, please just reach out to the person that also invited you. And let me just say the disclaimer. The disclaimer is above my head on my graphic here, that the AO scan technology or any of the products here that we talk about are not uh, approved by the FDA, and none of what we talk about here is approved by the FDA or anything like that. This technology is not meant to diagnose, treat, or mitigate any type of disease. If you are sick, please contact your qualified healthcare provider. So, without that, we'll just stop the share on the screen and we'll get after the call. So, anybody have something that they'd like to share? Go right ahead, Dave.
All right, we'll get it started kind of soft. I just ordered two 660 bands for some people in the house. Obviously, we had some issues over the last 4 or 5 days, and we had a few visitors, and I was wearing my 660 band, and they were interested in knowing all about it. So at the end of the 15 or 20-minute conversation, we told them the price. And they said, can you order me two? I would like one and my wife would like one. So these are two people that have been resistant to alternative medicine for probably a year. So every time they would come over and visit before we moved to Florida, we would just have a casual conversation about what the foot detox did, what our Pinf mat did, what the AO mat does, just what we did in general. And they always seemed resistant to it. And then he had back surgery maybe 18 months ago, and now he has some more significant pain with his sciatica. And I just was explaining to him what the 660 band can do and help with circulation. And now he's going to own one here in about 2 or 3 days when the shipment comes to the house. So be interesting to see his mindset. Personally, he was closed off for so long, but I think he's down the road where conventional medicine is not working for him. So he's open to new ideas. So I'm really interested to see how it transpires over the next couple of weeks.
That's awesome. Way to go.
Yeah, very nice. You just got to wear them.
Yeah, sometimes you got to be persistent. You just can't, like that's why we have that book to circle back every 30 days and say, hey, what's going on?
Yep.
This is new that came out. Sometimes it's worth shaking the tree, so to speak.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I love our books.
Yep. They're very good.
I
And the
have
book that
something.
she's talking about is we have a little binder that we're able to kind of check with our clients and stuff if somebody doesn't know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead,
Yep,
Dr.
one of our
Sheila.
tools. Yeah, so I had a patient in the clinic yesterday. This was so cool. She has her own subscription. A lot of my patients have their own subscription because there's so much that they can do for themselves. That they just love being empowered. She came in and I was just muscle testing. She was blocked and it came up with mold or fungus. And she goes, yeah, mold came up in my scan this morning. I'm like, isn't that interesting? She goes, that's so funny that you found it. And then she likes the little Cephi dot pain. She likes me to imprint Cephi dots for pain because she's got some pain. Well, she never said the A word, but she asked me if I would imprint some for her. And so I was getting ready to do that. I pulled up pain and I was going to imprint some. And she was asking some question. And I'm like, well, let's just run a scan because she hadn't used that in her scanner yet. So I wanted to show her what it does. I said, you can do this for yourself. You can get a little box of patches and you can make these for yourself. And I said, you can run a scan and see what comes up for you. So we ran a scan and what came up was arthritis. And I was like, huh. She goes, well, that's what they told me I have back here. I said, well, isn't that interesting? So let's do this one instead of pain and maybe you'll have better results. And I said, let me know how you're doing. And within a couple hours, she sent me an email. She said, I just want to let you know that pain's all gone right now. And I feel really good. I just thought that was so
Wow.
cool.
That is amazing. Those Cephi dots are powerful, by the way, too, because these little networking things that we're doing, I have actually been imprinting like ones with abundance and putting them on people before I leave the meeting. And I've already had feedback from a couple of them. They're like, I don't know if it had anything to do with what you did, but I had an amazing week last week. I'm like, couldn't be the Cephi dot now, could it?
It's so awesome.
Yeah,
I got to do that.
it's fun. It's really fun. I mean, and it's cheap. It's something you can just give them and they can wear it for 3 days and then they can feel the power of the frequencies. I put a couple on a gentleman that had lots of pain. He's dealing with a lot of spinal pain and whatever, and all over body pain. And I kind of told him my story about being on, 330 milligrams of morphine a day, plus Oxycontin and other, many other cocktail of medications. But I'm no longer on any medications. And sometimes I deal with pain, from time to time. But I'll just, either use my erase button on my scanner and hold it up to the area, and that helps, or I'll put a Cephi dot. I've been having a little bit of right knee pain, and so I've got a Cephi dot on my right underneath my right knee as we speak, and it's incredible. It helps. So, anybody else like to share anything?
I had kind of a fun day today.
Hi.
The Harley Davidson store in town. So we have a Harley Davidson store and they do Facebook live videos like once a week. Just the businesses in the area kind of promoting local. So they had contacted me a couple of weeks ago, said, hey, can we do it at your store today? And so they came and I was telling them all the stuff that I do. And then when we got done, I'm like, why don't we just run an AO scan on you and you can just experience that? And so I had her fill out all of her profile stuff and we ran the scan and when she starts looking at it, she goes, oh my gosh, this is freaky. It was just the funniest thing. Like, I got a kick out of it.
Yeah. Thank you. Go right ahead, Mandy.
So today my daughter told me this morning that she was having a lot of allergy issues. And so I was running some allergy frequencies on her all day while she was at school. And when she got in the car, she said that she was so stuffy and she got a bloody nose, and which is funny because bloody noses in Colorado is not a big deal, but down here in Alabama, I guess people have never got them, so they thought she was dying. She used to get them all the time, but it's been so cold. And we've been running the heat and everything. So I'm not exactly sure if she's got a cold or if she's got allergies, but I've been listening to backdated WoW testimonial calls like all day and yesterday. And Lene had said something about running something for sleep and it hadn't helped her. And so I thought, okay, I was running for allergies, the homeopathic, maybe I'll run for her symptoms. And so I went in and I thought about all the symptoms that she had, and I put allergies and cold in there. And in like 10 minutes, I noticed she wasn't sniffling and sneezing, and or just she didn't sound it like anything. It was quiet. And I said, "Are you feeling better?" She's like, "Yeah." So I just thought it was really cool that today I heard Lene say, don't go for like the overall thing that you think it is, look for those symptoms. And so it really made a difference. So I thought that was pretty cool and wanted to share that little reminder with everyone.
Yeah, thank you for that reinforcement. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I have another one. So I had told my mom to listen to the call about the infinity mat, which she's interested in, but she continued to listen, and she'd heard about the blue helping with the blood pressure. And so she had taken her blood pressure before she took it. Well, she took blue and pulse at the same time, so we don't know if it's blue or pulse, but then she took it about an hour later and it had dropped. So it had dropped a lot. So it was just interesting to see. So she's going to kind of keep track of that too, because she suffers from high blood pressure and we would love to get her off her medications.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Awesome.
Great. Those are great.
Oh,
All right. Anybody else like to share anything?
My one client that I have, that I do, scans on her every day. And so last night it was pretty late at night, but she texted me that she's got sinus problems again. And so she goes, "Would you run that playlist?" And so I was really tired. So I only ran it an hour. And so she just texted me just a few minutes ago and said, "I felt so much better this morning after you ran that playlist. So would you run it again, please?" So I thought that was really neat.
Nice.
absolutely. That just made me think of something. So I just started my first Cephi group, and it is just blessing my soul, the changes that these people are experiencing. I'm like in tears every morning when I hear from them. But one thing that I noticed that I thought was interesting is I usually do that 2 hour broadcast late in the morning. But one day I had a bunch of I just had a busy schedule and I couldn't do it. So I did it overnight. Their responses that next morning were so different. It was like they had so much more benefit having that run overnight while they were sleeping. So I'm kind of thinking we're going to shift to doing it that way.
So did you run it the entire night?
I think I did. Yeah, because I
Yeah,
wasn't
I've
going to
done
wake
that
up
to
and
my-
stop it.
I've done that to myself, but I've never done it to anybody else.
Yeah, they didn't even
also-
know it though. They didn't know.
Oh,
I
Okay.
told them after because they always send me gratitude every morning. They're so grateful for what we're doing. But they just shared how different their morning was and the clarity and just their confidence and everything. And I was like, huh, well, maybe we need to run these at night.
some of them you may. And I know I have ran some on clients through the night myself, and something about when they're resting and you're sending frequencies that are there to meant to support whatever issue they may be having, that seems to really kind of send it home for them, and then they wake up just feeling so much better. So yeah, if you've got somebody, try running it at night when they are resting, when the body is recuperating.
Yeah.
I've been doing a January sleep group, and I started out in the beginning doing like from 8 to 10. And then one night, like I forgot to shut it off. And in the group the next morning, everybody was like, "I had the best night's sleep. It was so good." So I've been doing I don't start it now till like 10:30. And then hope that everybody gets up for work on time.
Probably so. Do they report back if they feel more refreshed in the morning, more awake?
I the last couple days, and I'll have to look back at which playlist I use. A couple of them, like I woke up earlier than I thought, but I slept good. So
Yeah.
well, they obviously
Great.
body got enough of what they needed, and we're still able to wake up. So
Nice.
yeah, that's fun.
I love it. Love that. Anybody else like to share anything? You can just unmute yourself and share away.
Yes, the quantum boss.
Hey, Greg.
I've been busy getting some stuff done, but meeting with some peers. I just want to talk about the the Alpha 6 passes. Yeah, doing some demo scans with fellow practitioners. Having the Alpha 6 passes are definitely a godsend to definitely help other people see what you see. And if you don't have your Alpha 6 passes, it's the same as trying to get everybody in your scanner. You have to have all your tools available in order to converge. And if we can do more converging, then we're going to have maybe 100 people on this group by summer.
Love it.
Yes. Excellent.
Those passes are nice. You know, I had a lady in Ireland just use a pass, and she just absolutely loves the technology. So looking forward to having her on our team.
I had a couple do it last week and they were signed up the first day, so they didn't even finish the pass.
Yeah, they usually are like, oh, what is this? I need it, whatever it is. She's feeling the same way. She did a whole bunch of clients and everything, and I went, wow, you're really going to town. She goes, I love this.
I got a question. How's everybody's
Come on.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
We
So
are
with
great.
the Alpha passes, what is that now?
So that's the 3-day pass. You can buy a 6-pack for $125 in your back office. I started out giving them away for free just because I had a pretty much 10 out of 10 conversion. But if you're offering it in open forum, you get a lot of tire kickers. So with that, usually you charge your cost, which is $25, $25, whatever. And then just tell them when you enroll, I will refund that. Some people do that, but it gives them 3 days of complete access. They can just create an account, log in on their phone, and use the scanner for 3 days.
Okay, and you can charge people for that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Oh, that's cool.
I have just changed and I started charging $75 for a pass. And my reasoning behind that, and I've talked with a couple of other practitioners, is because we've got some that are actually floating around and they're grabbing a pass and they're paying maybe 25 or 30, and then they're going to the next practitioner and they're getting another pass, and then it just keeps going. So they're kind of using, but I think the $75 is cutting that, it's nipping it. And now I'm actually getting ones that are really, really interested. So and I usually give them, I refund that right back. If when they enroll, I refund them. And actually it gives them access, and they would have paid 150 for the month. But in this way, it really puts a higher value on it. And I'm seeing a little bit better conversion that way.
Okay, sounds good.
Anybody else?
Well, I have a testimony, but
Awesome.
I don't have my other musician friends on, but yeah. So what I did, I discovered this actually few weeks back, and I was using the Cephi area, and so because I play saxophone, I was able to take energy and imprint it from like some wristbands that I had that had negative ions in it, and I put it, I transferred it, into my mouthpiece, and of course I was playing. I was like, man, I could feel the energy and how it affected, and so I ended up doing a demonstration of that online on YouTube, and then I got a good response, and so somebody reached out to me. He's like, hey man, I want to find out more about that. And so sure enough, he ended up signing up. And Alvin Crutcher, he's in Maryland, but I did the same thing with him. He was, he put his reed on the phone and we imprinted it. I did FaceTime with him, and then he played. He's like, wow. He's like, man, well, let's do the ligature. So we did it to the ligature. His sound got bigger. But then we did the mouthpiece. It just got even bigger. And so he bought it, and he went in there playing with stuff. He did the energy boost, and he imprinted his whole horn, you know. And so he went and played at church and everything. He was like, man, it's like a whole new instrument.
That blows my mind.
That's
Yes,
incredible.
amazing.
So their Christmas tree up. Doctors.
Yeah.
Yes,
But
till Easter.
yeah, it's amazing. So it's yeah, it's phenomenal. I got a lot of other musicians that are interested, you know, and let alone talking about the healing qualities and how it affects the body. But that just shows if we're imprinting energy into a mouthpiece and you're hearing it affect the sound, then of course you know, even though it's a lot might be more subtle when it hits the body, but that gives them a way to see that this really is doing something.
Wow.
You
I
know,
would have never thought that.
I have heard of some musicians that are also embedding some of the frequencies in their music. I don't know how it's done. I'm not that techie on that part of it, but they are actually putting some of our frequencies that are in our scanner in their music. Again, I don't know how they're doing it, but I'm like, wow.
Kuman, is that a
Yeah,
public
I can
video?
see how to do that. Yes.
I would, if you wouldn't mind sending me the link, I'd
Yeah,
love to
I
see
can
that.
send it to you.
Just blows my mind.
That's
Okay,
awesome.
I can send it to you.
Can you share it in the chat?
You want me to put it in the group?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put it in the chat.
Yeah. Here on the chat. I got you. Let me find it now.
Come on.
See, this is why we do these calls, because everybody's brains are so different.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to know how that affects the recipient, the audience that's hearing those tones. If it carries through, you know what I mean, frequency wise.
Right.
Cynthia has a question.
You could, I was just suggesting that you could also imprint the unlimited creativity, like something like that, especially with like jazzy music and everything.
Oh yeah,
it's always like the improvising.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Oh,
that's cool.
And the quantum frequencies, the list, I'll put it in the playlist. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you can. You can put it in the chat, or you can put it in the team chat, whatever you want to do, or even in the group, however you want to do it.
Oh no, she was saying I could put it
unlimited creativity.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Sorry.
Yeah. Put it in a playlist or imprint it in your mouthpiece, what you said, but then also like unlimited creativity or like relationship enhancement, that you get like more feeling with the instruments, even more, or something like that, you know.
Wow.
Like that's the really great stuff from the AO scan.
It's fun.
Oh my goodness. Well, the possibilities are endless.
They are.
Yeah, really.
My brain just doesn't work like that.
Now, do you all think, like, I've seen those glow pads and stuff. Does it matter, really, if you connect it to a glow pad, or if you're using it right on your phone? Does it matter?
What do you mean matter? What is it? I mean, I use my glow pad all the time, and I've got it hooked into my scanner. And then I broadcast both the infopathy frequencies and the scanner frequencies. In my opinion, it just amplifies our frequencies or theirs. I guess it's both ways.
So you you plug your info pad into the scanner and run so I could do that with my client tonight that has a stuffy nose.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. I just plug it right into my scanner. And then I've got the infopathy platform on the
Right.
scanner. I look it up, I find what I want, and I get it started, and then I start broadcasting whatever frequencies through the scanner at the same time, and you'll see it start really blinking really quite quickly.
Yeah,
The
see,
infopathy
yeah.
ones usually will stop, you know, so you'll have to restart them. But you know, I think it's amazing.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Hey, can I say something really, really quickly?
Yeah.
Tammy, you said the infopathy ones will stop. What a lot of people don't know is at the very bottom there, there's this little design. If you click that, you can either choose to have it repeat 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, and then there's an infinite section. Most people have never seen it, but it's there.
No.
And so if you choose infinite, which I always do, I'm trying to imprint something. In the case of what you're doing, you can just click infinite and then you stop it when you get ready.
Awesome. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you.
Very nice.
Say that again. Can you say that again, please?
When you are on the infopathy platform and you click play or the little play section, there is a little spot, and I forgot what the design is. I'll look it up in a second. Actually, I probably have it up right now, but there's a little spot where there's a little logo. If you click that logo, there are numbers. And I think a number goes up to like 6, meaning how many times it will repeat. But the one underneath the last number is infinite. So if you choose that option, it never stops transmitting until you stop it.
Very nice.
I did not know that.
I cannot wait to do that because I thought, well, you can go online, Julie. It is another platform. And if you want to get involved, please follow up with the person that invited you here because I'm sure that they may have it. And if they don't, then you can reach out to one of us in the group that does, and we can direct you. But it's just another frequency platform, and it's online, and we all have kind of started using it. But I have a feeling we won't have to use it very much longer because Solex will be coming out with what's called the Hub, and it will have a lot of the same things.
Okay, I looked it up. I'm on infopathy right now, and there's like, it says start transfer, and then there's an arrow going this way and an arrow going this way. And
Yeah,
then
that's it.
click on that, and that's where it is. 1,
Yeah,
2,
that's
3,
where it
4, 5, 6, and then infinite.
Very
Wow.
nice.
Awesome.
But don't get used to it because the hub's coming out.
That's right.
Wow.
We really
Will that
should
be
be
about
talking
the
about
same
this
thing?
other technology, but it is. It
But
is something that's
Tammy,
very helpful.
how are you saying that you hook yours up?
I have a plug that I hook my infopathy that goes into the bottom of my scanner because I don't have the round connector. I have the charger connector, so I have a toggle or a dingle or dongle or whatever it's called, and I just plug that into my scanner.
Okay.
I'll take a picture of it and put it in our chat.
Okay.
So y'all can see.
That's amazing.
All right. Anybody else like to share anything? Thank you for all that. Thank you, Dr. Darrell. That's invaluable there.
I got another one.
Come on with it.
It involves a kidney stone.
Ooh.
I have an older gentleman. He's a PC guy. Him and his wife use it all the time. And when we hang out with them, we try to enlighten them on certain things that they may not think about. And he called one day and said he believes he was getting a kidney stone. So he went to the doctors and they said, "Oh, we can give you some stuff to try to break it up." And he's like, "No, I'm going to use my device and I'm going to run it." So he ran it every day for 3 or 4 hours, and within 5 days he passed the kidney stone, and he showed it to me the other day, and it was about the size of a pencil tip.
Ooh. Wow.
Yeah.
Owie.
So, and he put it on his kidney. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
So we got in there and imprinted that, he got the little pixel up and hit imprint and put it right on his stomach where his kidney was. And he did that every day for 3 days or 4 days in a row, and it came out on the 5th day. So,
Wow.
so pretty cool how that, just yet another way to think outside the box. And we really literally have no limits with this thing. If you can think about it, you can do it.
Yep.
So,
Yep. And avoid some of those alternative methods.
correct.
Yep. Very much so. And I'm sure Dr. Becky said, take the oxalates out. All right. Anybody else?
I'd like to say good evening to everyone. This is Al Crutcher. I'm the guy Quaman was talking about.
Yay,
I saw
welcome.
his demonstration with the on YouTube with his saxophone. And I saw that because I was looking at some frequency stuff a while back, how frequencies affect the body and everything. And then when he did that imprint with the mouthpiece, I had to call him up. I said, man, what? I said, you a deep diver, man. What's going on with that thing? So we did an experiment and it worked over the phone. And with his so I took my reed and tried that so I could hear the difference. And then we did it with the mouthpiece and the ligature. And I was blown away. I couldn't believe that. I mean, it changed the whole characteristic of my instrument, made the airflow smoother, and it changed the tone. And the horn actually had more resonance to it. You could you could feel the vibration and the resonance coming through. And I said, wow, okay. So I had to get it. So I went just for that simple fact. So then I did some more experiment with it. So I ended up doing my whole horn, putting different parts of my horn on my iPad and then printing. So I covered the whole horn. And there was such a tremendous difference. It was like, it's hard to describe if you don't play. If you're a musician and you're playing your horn, something that is close to you like that, where your body and your breathing actually controls the sound that it's making, and then you can do something like that to the instrument to change the whole characteristic of it. I mean, the keys, the airflow was much smoother, and the keys actually, the horn responded a lot quicker, and it was just amazing. Like, and I heard someone say, "How does it affect the audience?" Well, don't know yet. I mean, I played it, but I was listening to it for, seeing how it felt, but I hadn't thought about that. How is that sound or those frequencies affecting the people that are on the receiving end of it? So that's a whole nother experiment. And then the other thing is to see, how long does the imprint last? If the mouthpiece gets wet, is that going to change the characteristic? Or if because it varies in temperature, if it gets cold or it's hot, is that going to affect? And so I guess this is a new experience to see how long the imprint actually lasts on the item that you imprint.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear back on that.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
That it still blows my mind.
Well, and another thing too, because I did another demonstration with another guy who had some negative ion wrist bands, and so they're silicone, and so he has some blank ones, and so what we did, we imprinted the frequency from one that was charged into the one that was blank. Plus, we had pointed some other. We have these pins, like wands, that has scalar energy or negative ions. So we pointed it at it at the same time. So he tried it on his mom, and she said, "Oh, this one is stronger than the other ones." And so, because he did a balance test and strength test and all of that. And so he said he's tried it every week, and it's still holding. So it's like we should be 2-3 weeks, and it's still been holding. So that's amazing.
Wow, that is amazing.
Hmm.
Your brains. Oh my gosh. My brain would never think like that.
Yeah.
Change that script, Dr.
I
Dr.
know it.
Sheila.
I know. I'm just so grateful for these calls and you guys coming on here sharing this stuff.
Yeah. All right. Anybody else like to share anything? Go ahead, Cheryl.
Well, I wasn't going to share this, but I will because I think it's really, really important. I've been playing with chromotherapy. Anybody's been following me, but I've been using the tones at the same time that I'm using the colored glasses. And I've been following Rick Rubin's thing and getting outside at sunrise every morning and sunset. So I'm taking in the whole concept of color therapy. And I can tell you that the minute I put my glasses on now, my brain goes just like that. And it flips to whatever I wouldn't even think I was thinking on. And so one day, I've been playing with this for 6 weeks now, so I've been really, really looking at it. But one day I managed to get my taxes done, which usually is an April 30th thing, and I got it done by January 5th.
Oh my
And I
gosh.
also wrote 5 courses that day for my program, and I'm just like, what the hell's going on with me? Could chromotherapy and frequencies actually make that much difference in your brain that quickly?
I think so.
And you need them both to really experience.
That's what I tell everybody with the inner voice. If you're not wearing your glasses, you need to be, because that is the shifting part. I can't stress that enough, because there were times that I wouldn't wear them and then I would wear them and I could tell a big difference. And Scott for the longest time wouldn't wear the glasses. I'm like, wear your darn glasses. So it does make a difference.
Well, if you think of who is wearing glasses, there's something else I told my team not to talk about. Who is wearing glasses out there are some of the most powerful, creative people in industry. So whoever was doing the saxophone thing, yeah, might want to start thinking about putting on a couple different pairs of glasses when you're doing that as well, because it could make all the difference in your ability to pick up different things, different words or sounds.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Oh, okay.
And there is a science behind that. Even I mean, if you know, like some of these, these kids that struggle with, comprehending things, sometimes they'll change. And I've learned this when I homeschooled, they'll change the ink color, or they'll change the color of the paper that they've written something on. And it's like something happens within the brain that makes these children be able to retain that information better, just because of the color of the ink or the color of the paper. So there is something to chromotherapy. There is a real science behind it. So thank you, Cheryl.
There's a lot behind that, because there's a thing is that when we're looking at ultraviolet lights, or the lights that are coming from natural sources, the whole array of colors in there, and we don't even realize it. So when somebody has been sitting in a classroom all day and you give them a spectrum of a color that is going to go pop, then that's going to, I cannot get over how quickly the brain jumps right into the next level. I mean, you would have told me this before when I was teaching brain health for 10 years, I would have said, yeah, right.
You're nuts.
But I tell you, it's real.
It is.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you.
I used to be a teacher, and we would have kids use different colored paper and different pencils, especially if they had learning disabilities. It was great. We never took the time to use it with all of the students, just the ones with learning disabilities.
Could you imagine? Man, and if we all did it, we might just really, there was something that we learned years ago, that we only use like 1/10 of 1% of our brain, because we just don't use it enough. And if we started doing all of these things, could you imagine how whipper smart we would be?
I could use some of that.
Me too.
But you know, they've been using color like in jails and hospitals and all kinds of different places because they know how it affects the brain.
Yep. Certainly do. All right. Anybody else? Great call, guys.
I'll go ahead and I'll share.
Oh, yay!
Cynthia.
Hello. How are you?
Great.
Good. How are you doing, dear?
Okay. I'm doing well. Great to see you, Dr. Sheila.
You too, babe.
So I guess now we're talking about the lenses, and even sometimes I've been using them in therapy. So even if I didn't do an inner voice for a client, if their emotions are saying certain things or if I'm just kind of picking those up, I've actually had them sit during the session and wear the lenses. And I just see like their mood even regulates. They come down, they start to just balance out even with just the lenses. So that's been very helpful there. And the other two are it's about Sephi. So one was I've gone back and I started playing the abundance playlist, and I have gotten more clients because when I stop, I see like it gets a little dry. And so I was like, oh, I have to remember to play the abundance playlist. So once I play it again, then like my psychology today has just been lighting up. And so I've gotten new clients since I've started playing it. And the other one was I did a motivation playlist or to get things done. And I had it running and I forgot that I had it running. And I was up like creating until probably like in the wee hours of the next morning. And I was, because my husband works overnight, so I was messaging him and he was like, go to sleep. I'm like, I can't. Like, I did this book for therapists. I did this. I mean, it was literally like one thing after another. And I'm like, I totally forgot that I had the playlist running. So I was like, the unlimited creativity and the energy boost had me going until I realized what was going on there. So those Sephi groups those playlists have been awesome.
That is so cool.
Hey, you know, thinking about the glasses and our inner voice, you know how we get our tones and then we get our corrective tones? We could actually take our colored lens for that day, we could put it on our scanner and imprint it with the corrective tone in your Sephi. So why not do that too when you're wearing the color, have that corrective tone imprinted in that glass, because you can re-erase it the next day and do it again. So that just gave me a thought. Thanks, everybody. I'm going to try that tomorrow.
Yeah, my brain is like trying to catch up here. Cynthia, I have a question. I just don't think I was following you in the very beginning. You said you put the glasses on them. Are you running a scan first to know which color, or are you just grabbing?
No, because with they're saying what color support what, and it's also like how the flow of the sessions were going. So they're talking about those things, and this is something that can support them in that. I've actually had them wear the supportive lenses there if I didn't have the time to do the actual, scan for them.
That is so cool. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
We've had a couple of ones jump on kind of late. Welcome. We're so glad you're here. And if there's something you want to share, just unmute yourself and give us your testimony. We're glad that you're here. Anybody else like to share anything?
Somebody I invited. Let me look.
Looks like they jumped off. I don't know. Carol, you're asking me to expand on what I just said. How about I just show you? Let me share my screen with you guys one more time, and I'll share what I'm talking about. Can you see my scanner?
Nope. Yes.
Okay. So you know how in your inner voice, you will get your corrective tones right here, if it'll load. Hopefully it'll load pretty quick. So imprint G sharp into your blue lens. And the way you can do that is you have to go over here to your Sephi group. And the only way you can do that is if you're going to create a custom playlist, because that's the only place you can find the inner voice tones. But if I go here to custom playlist And then if we make a new one, then you'll drop down here and you'll see inner voice down here. And then you would grab that tone, or let's say you could do all 4 of them in all of your lenses. I mean, I don't see why you couldn't do that too. So you could pick all 4 of the corrective tones or the balancing tones, and then you could actually imprint each of your lenses with that playlist, because you could do them individually too. So does that help? Did I lose everybody?
No,
I heard you.
I was just
Oh, we're here.
I was just adding that if you do this, that you need to clear erase it before using again. Yeah.
Yeah, most of us know that, but I just wanted to kind of show in a quick view that this
great.
Do. Yeah.
Great
Hey,
idea.
Tammy,
Yeah.
where would you, oh, I'm echoing.
Go ahead.
Where would you imprint since you're in the,
like the playlist? You just put it right there on your screen. You don't have to have a fractal.
ah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say that from what I learned over the weekend, maybe we should be clearing our glasses no matter what before we use them.
We probably should be. Yes.
I am really bad about that.
Yeah, I clear and shield everything when I do it. So I have made a complete practice of that, because if you'll realize, Deb Sullivan, she talked about that last week when she got a little sick because she forgot to clear and shield before working on a client remotely. And then she ended up not feeling so great the next couple of days. So it's because you will kind of absorb some of other people's energy if you don't clear and shield yourself. So make that a habit.
Yeah. Kuman did put the link in the chat there if you guys want to grab that and copy and paste for that demo on the imprinting their instruments.
Thank you so much.
hey, Tammy. And one more time, when you're saying you're doing your playlist, when you're just broadcasting your playlist, you just lay it on there as you're broadcasting?
Yeah, you can do that. Or hang on just a minute. I don't want this video to play. When you go, like for instance, let me go back here. When you have a playlist, anything, you can pretty much imprint anything that's a playlist. So let me just go to a playlist that I have. And it's kind of loading slow, probably because we're on this call. Can everybody see my screen, my scanner screen? Okay.
Yep.
So I don't want to do transition. Let's do the affirmations for abundance. So whatever it is that you have that you want to imprint, go ahead and choose simultaneously, because it will put all the frequencies together and it takes 20 seconds to imprint. If you do it individually, it takes longer than 20 seconds. It's usually about 4 or 5 minutes, depending on how many frequencies you have in there. But I do simultaneously. You put your glass of water on your scanner or your glasses or whatever it is that you want to imprint, hit 20-second imprint, and it puts all the frequencies together, imprints it in 20 seconds, and you're done. Does that help?
Yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right. Anybody else like to share anything?
I had a question and then something to share too. So my question is, with the flower remedies, like when you go in there, they're all just in some random order. Is there any plan to have them like alphabetized or something?
Yes, it's coming.
Okay, because that would be awesome.
Yeah.
And then the last week's call, when you had mentioned the energetic clearing with the lady who got sick, I'm like, oh, maybe I should do that when my kids are throwing their tantrum and acting like kids act, because it really affects me. And then like I can't stay self-regulated to help regulate them.
Yep.
I should be able to. I'm an adult. But so I started to run that. Like when they started acting up, I would just run the energetic clearing and shield, and I was able to stay calmer. And deal with
Good
their
job.
issues. So
Yeah.
That's excellent.
Yep. So many ways you can use the scanner, just so many ways. All right. Anybody else? Great call, guys.
I did have a Nakia jumped on. He was the one I was trying to get signed up, but we couldn't find a way to do it because it was the upgrade.
Oh,
Yeah.
we have to call customer support. Did you guys not get them called yet?
He's working during the hours.
Okay, well then I need his permission with his information and I can call that in for him.
Okay.
So
Yep.
I'll need all his, credit card information, birth date, SSN, or tax ID.
He's there. You said something, Nakia?
Yeah. Let me see. How do you unmute?
You're unmuted. We hear you.
Or Nakia, we could also do a 3-way call on your lunch break. You're muted, hun. Unmute.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So what those last two items you named? I didn't understand. What was that? What kind of tax ID?
Well, either your social security number or a tax ID.
Okay. Social security.
Yeah, and Kuman can give you my phone number. You can text me and we can do this on your lunch break or something.
Okay.
Nice to meet you, by the way.
Likewise. Likewise.
All right. Anybody else? Oh, we've only got 2 minutes left.
So excited.
Wow, this call went fast.
I know it.
Hey, Tammy.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, it's not a question. For the guys that are on the call, I'm happy to see you here.
Lots of guys.
I did start a Men of Solex Facebook group. If you guys are interested, just reach out, and we're at 28 guys and growing. Once we get to 50, I was inspired by this call. I would like to do maybe not every week, but maybe once a month or every other week. I'd like to do a call similar to this to introduce the ladies, husbands, and everybody that's unsure about this, just to try to get the word out, because obviously each week it seems like more men are getting involved with this, and really everybody needs to have it. So if you
I'm
guys
actually glad you said that because I saw the group.
Now.
I saw that group and I was confused. I thought it was for husbands of people who of wives are the predominant Solex person or something like that.
No,
it threw me a little bit.
It's all good, Daryl. I didn't quite know how to word it. I know you're involved with it. I'm involved with it. Scott's
We have a
involved.
lot of single men involved.
All right.
But, and it's out there for the ladies. If their husbands are on the fence, it's going to be to try to involve them a little bit more, so their wives are more comfortable with them using it, so to speak. You know what I mean? Type of deal eventually.
Yeah.
So
I will be joining tonight.
perfect. All right.
Okay, everybody, we're a minute away from the Solex call. We appreciate each and every one of you for being here, taking the time to spend with us an hour. And go jump on the Solex call. We love you all. Dr. Sheila, would you like to close with something?
Yep, just thank you so much. This has been powerful, and come back every week because we just learned so much from you. Look at how everybody's brains work. Now let's go find out what Solex has to say.
Absolutely. Bye-bye, everybody.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.